without a song or a dance, what are we? So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me. I've been so lucky, I am the girl with golden hair. I wanna sing it out to everybody. What a joy, what a life, what a chance. Thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without it? I ask in all honesty. What would life be without a
Before we start our service this morning, I have a message for you all from Jeanette herself, and in her own words. It's my wish that I ask you all not to cry for me today, or remember me with tears as much as you can. During my service, have a laugh with me and celebrate my life with the memories that we all share.
And your heart won't ache if you're here to take all
Well,
this
I
love from
popped
me.
down in my
Well, you don't
easy
give a
chair
damn
and
about a
turned
worried
on
man
to
as
the
far as I
A
can
bad
see.
gunslinger named Salty Sam was a chasing poor sweet Sue. Trapped her in the old sawmill, said with an evil laugh, if you don't give me the deed to your ranch, I'll saw you all in half. And then he grabbed her.
Help me, grab me!
He tied her up.
Help me's tying me up!
Turned on the buzzsaw.
Help me's turning on the buzzsaw! Help somebody save me! Help! Help! Yo! Yo! Woo! 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 Nom! 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 Nom!
And then along came Jones, talking Jones, slow walking Jones, slow talking Jones. Along came lonely, lanky Jones. Commercial came on, so I got up to fix myself a snack. You should have seen what was going on by the time that I got back. Down in the old abandoned mine, sweet Sue was having fits. That miller said, give me the deed to your ranch, I'll blow you all to bits. And then he grabbed her.
Help me's grabbing me
He
again!
tied her up.
Help me's tying me up again! Same routine!
He lit the fuse to the dynamite.
Lighting the fuse to the dynamite! Help! Help! Save me, somebody!
And then along came Jones, talking Jones, slow walking Jones, slow talking Jones. Along came lonely, lanky Jones. Well, I got so bugged I turned it off and I turned on another show. But there was the same old shoot 'em up, the same old rodeo. Salty Sam was trying to stuff Sweet Sue in a burlap sack. He said, if you don't give me the deed to your ranch, I'll throw you on the railroad track. And then he grabbed her.
Help me, grab me!
He tied her
He's
up.
tying me up again!
He threw her on the railroad track.
He's throwing me on the railroad track! Oh, somebody save
A
me!
train started coming.
Ooh, here come the train! Here come the train! Yeah! Woo, woo, woo! Help! Help! Help!
And then along came Jones, talking Jones, slow walking Jones, slow talking Jones. Along came lonely, lanky Jones. Along came lonely, lanky Jones. Yeah, along came lonely, lanky Jones.
When tomorrow starts without me, and I'm not here to see, if the sun should rise and find your eyes are filled with tears for me. I wish so much you wouldn't cry, though I know your heart aches so. But remember, it was for the best. It was my time to go. I know how much you love me, as much as I love you. And each time you are thinking of me, know that I'll miss you too. When tomorrow starts without me, don't think we're far apart. For every time you think of me, I'm right there in your heart. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jessie, and I have been honoured with the privilege of conducting this funeral service for a woman whose spark and joy for life, while physically gone, are never very far away. We meet today to pay tribute to the life of Jeanette Marlene Perry and to express our love and admiration for her. Today, for each of you gathered here, it is a sad day, but nevertheless, it is a good day, because we're not here to close the door on the life of Jeanette, but rather to honour her wish and her life and her memory by keeping that door open, and to celebrate her good times lived and her character, to allow the memories of her to flow, to make us smile, to prompt us to follow her example and be thankful that our lives have connected. Everybody who sits in this room today is a gift to everybody else here. When we are together, just our presence, even in silence, is a deep comfort. Some of us may bear fresh wounds in our own hearts and feel very keenly the connection of sorrow. Others whose days of mourning are more remote still recall the comfort that sympathy brought to our hearts. To those of you who were very close to Jeanette, no one can predict the feelings and experiences that will arise in the years and months to come. There may be waves of joy and sadness and tears, and everybody is here is proof that you do not have to ride these waves alone. We know too that it's not only grief that we will feel. There will be genuine smiles and gratitude for the memories that Jeanette has given all of us that can never be taken away, just as she would want. Jeanette has left possibly the most comprehensive notes for her own funeral that I have ever seen. Nearly every detail has been well thought out and covered, from the songs selected, including the video that we just had the pleasure of watching, to the poems chosen, the photos in the montage, and even the placement and order in which the carriers will escort her out at the end of our service. A funeral takes a team of people who work together in creating this ceremony, and normally I would just thank our staff and everybody's helped put this together, but Jeanette's been nearly as big a part of that as anybody else. But nevertheless, we are very privileged and honoured to have been entrusted with Jeanette's care following her death and conducting her service here at Parkside. At the conclusion of this service, Jeanette's family warmly invite you to stay here for a cuppa and a chat as we continue in remembering her life. And just a reminder too, if you haven't done so already, to please either switch off or silence your mobile phones, as this time belongs to Jeanette. I'd also like to welcome those who are unable to be here with us in person in the chapel today and are joining us via live stream. Your presence is very much appreciated. Jeanette was a loving wife to Greg for 50 years, a devoted mum to Natalie and Kelvin, and a mother-in-law to Dion, an adored nan of Callum, Kalinda and Caden, and a cherished ma of Abigail, Elijah, Cooper, Poppy, Riley, Maxwell, Mason, Ryder, Luca, Carter, and little Sahana, who was born sleeping. A loved daughter of the late Mervyn and Beverly Pike, and a twin sister to Annette, who's deceased, and a sister to Ricky and Dale. An auntie and a dear friend to many. And on behalf of her family, I would like to thank each of you gathered here today for your love and support and friendship shown to both Jeanette and to them. Even though you mightn't think you're doing much, just small acts of kindness can make such a remarkable difference. The time Jeanette's family have given me, their hardest of times, has formed the portrait of a woman who loved fiercely and knew what she wanted. Jeanette Margaret Pike entered our world on the 12th of May 1959 in Burnie, one of two firstborn children, along with twin sister Annette, to parents Mervyn and Beverly Pike, at that time of Ridgely. Brother Ricky soon followed, and finally Dale, completing their humble little family. They spent much of their early lives growing up in Burnie, living in Grenville Street, and like many families of the time, they made do with what they had, living their best within their means. Mervyn was a bushman, and while working, would agitate riverbeds with his machinery so that he could return the next day and scoop up the lobster that had come to investigate. What has become a luxury now was once the many a scavenged meal of her childhood. She attended school at Parklands, and by attended, I mean she was technically enrolled there. When she was actually in class, she wasn't much of a fan and couldn't wait to get out of there. During these absences, she started spending a lot of time with a young Gregory Perry. And although they weren't in school, they wasted little time. Greg recalled the day he and Jeanette went to Merv and Bev's house to tell them the good news of the surprise pregnancy. They thought it best, or perhaps safer, to tell Merv on his own first. So they came up with an excuse to send Bev to the shops to get her out of the house. His reaction was pretty tame, all things considered. That's a bit careless. Upon Bev's return, the moment she stepped through the threshold of the door, Merv called out, "We've got some big news." To which Bev's response was, "If that bloody cat is pregnant again, we're getting rid of it." To which Merv said, "Not the cat." On the 6th of September 1975, Jeanette and Greg were married in the Old Uniting Church in Upper Burnie. And miraculously, only 2 months later, they welcomed their first child, Natalie Marie, in November of that year. Jeanette then managed a wee break before welcoming Kelvin Maxwell in February of 1978, and their family was complete. Like any marriage, they had their ups and downs, and there were tough days in the early years. Both of them still basically children, trying their best to not only provide for their children, but still finding their own identities, as well as making time for each other. There were even times where they took a short break from their relationship, but ultimately were bound, whether by fate, circumstance, or divine intervention, and they always found their way back to each other. Jeanette and Greg did everything they could to make sure their children would never go without. Now, they weren't spoiled by any means, but one of Jeanette's love languages was gifting, and paid keen attention to her children's interests as they grew, and always prepared the perfect birthday gift. She prioritised her children and her family over anything and everything else. And I'm told her cooking was magic, most of the time. Early in their relationship, Jeanette tried her hand at making some scones, just as her mother had done for her during her childhood. Something was not quite right with how they looked, and when she presented them to Greg, they were more akin to an Anzac or a coaster than they were to a scone. Turned out she'd used plain flour instead of self-raising, and she never made a scone again as long as she lived. She also liked to experiment a bit with her cooking, not always relying on the trusty Woman's Weekly, and rather playing around with her homegrown herbs and spices, as she liked to call them. And usually this was well received. Tea was always ready at 5:30 p.m, and you could set your clock to Jeanette dishing up. And one particular night she was feeling especially adventurous and put chicken and prunes on the table. They all began to eat as normal, but immediately there was an unusual hesitation. After a few moments of eyeing Natalie and Kelvin's responses across the table, Greg said, "This isn't very good, is it?" To which both kids' response was, "Oh, thank God, I thought it was just us." That might be the only meal they didn't finish. Jeanette didn't get her licence until later on in life, but when she did start driving, she had a little blue Honda Scamp as her first car. This one time she was pulling out onto King Edward Street in Penguin, and while distracted, waving to Twin Annette, ran directly into a no standing sign. Now, most cars, this would be no problem for. They'd just shake it off and get back on the road. But Jeanette had managed to hit it in such a way that it had totally immobilised the poor thing. Greg brought his bus down to save her and confirmed it would, in fact, need to be towed. And now Jeanette being relatively new to driving, Greg thought it might be easier just to have her drive his vehicle rather than learning how to navigate being towed. After linking the cars with a bit of rope, he told Jeanette, "Now ease off slowly." "Yeah, no worries, I got it." Jeanette jumped in, put her foot down, and snap. Immediately broke. Not realising, however, she just kept going. Turned on Iron Cliff Road and then out of sight. Greg, now stranded in Penguin, got a lift home. And when he arrived, all Jeanette said, "Oh, I wondered where you got to." Once the kids were getting older and starting school, Jeanette began work at the old servo on Preservation Drive, near where the surf club is now, and spent some time here before starting her work at Simplot. Jeanette loved this job and spent 32 years, nearly half her life there. And it was here that she met her best friend, Jack, who we will hear from shortly with some stories of her own. Just as they had become young parents, they soon became young grandparents, and the walls Jeanette had up at times in her younger years soon came down. She loved being a mother, but becoming a nan was different. Most of her time outside of work was spent with them, taking them places, treating them as often as she could, often being mistaken for their own mother. And the love continued down another generation, becoming a doting and cherished ma to her great-grandchildren. Jeanette enjoyed many hobbies, but a few standouts were her garden, particularly caring for her princess lilies, and family history. When they moved to their home in Ulverston, they would often drive past the old place, and Jeanette would grumble at the state that the new owners are keeping her garden in. Her interest in genealogy took her to various cemeteries all over the state and abroad, boasting that she could trace her family lineage all the way back to pre-colonial times, and even to the royals themselves. In later years, Jeanette and Greg busied themselves with travel, and as you'll soon see in the photos, cruising the Pacific Islands, touring the UK for a month, and many visits to Hawaii, arguably Jeanette's favourite place on earth. As a gift for 30 years of service at Simplot, she claimed a professional Nikon camera as a gift. And boy did it get a workout on these trips. On many of these adventures, she would return with knickknacks of varying size and description, from Elvis-themed clocks to, as Greg described, literal rubbish. She also had an uncanny ability to be randomly selected at the airport for drug screening. A casualty of bringing boogie boards on holiday in a post-Chappelle Corby world, I suppose. But I'm going to leave things there on a lighter note for now. Just a glimpse into Jeanette's life. But no life is held in just dates and events alone. It lives on in memory, in relationships, and in love. And now I'd like to invite someone very close to Jeanette forward to speak now, dear friend Jack Webb, and to share her reflections of their wonderful friendship. Thanks, Jack.
Firstly, I'd like to give my sincere condolences to Greg, Kelvin, Natalie and families, and to Jeanette's brothers, Ricky and Doug, and their families. Jeanette and I met at Simplot many, many years ago. She's my best friend, shoot. Many laughs, tears and memories that will remain with me for eternity. Jeanette, your strength, positivity, honesty are and always will be an inspiration to me. My respect and love and our beautiful friendship will remain with me for all eternity and beyond. Jeanette, here's to the moments that turned into memories with a friend that turned into family. I'm so blessed to have had a true friend like you in my life. I miss you so much. Rest in peace, my gorgeous friend. I love you.
Well done, Jack. That was beautiful. Thank you. We talk about her because we're proud. We talk about her because she deserves to be remembered. We talk about her because even though she's not now with us, she's never far from our minds. We talk about her because she is a part of us, a part that we could never ignore. We talk about her because we love her still, and we always will. And we've heard a bit about Jeanette's story through stories, through spoken word. But I'd now like to bring your attention to the screens as we connect these memories we've heard with photographs. Not just milestones, but moments, faces, places, and the quiet continuity of a life very well lived.
Hillbilly roll, stand in line, and away we go. A little bit of moonshine, a little bit of meat to the hillbilly rock and roll with me. One, two, three, four. Up on the mountain, way out of town, Saturday night, and the folks gather round. Bring a little bottle, buddy, hold on tight. It's a hillbilly rock and roll night. Yeah! How you all say ma and pa? Everybody's out in the yard. Somebody's calling out, go cat go! It's Uncle Earl on his old banjo to the hillbilly rock, hillbilly roll. Stand in line and away we go. A little bit of moonshine, a little bit of meat to the hillbilly rock and roll with me. Everybody sing yee-haw! Yee-haw! Grandpa's rocking in his rocking chair. Grandma's pretty when she lets down her hair. The hair comes down, her dress goes up. She grabs the fiddle and she fiddles to the bop, to the hillbilly rock, hillbilly roll. Stand in line and away we go. A little bit of moonshine, a little bit of meat to the hillbilly rock and roll with me. Everybody sing yee-haw! Yee-haw! Yeah! Well, everybody dance, everybody sing. Squeeze that box and make it ring. Here's a little gift from Ma and Pa. Johnny be good, it's his first guitar. To the hillbilly rock, hillbilly roll. Stand in line and away we go. A little bit of moonshine, a little bit of meat to the hillbilly rock and roll with me. Hillbilly rock, hillbilly roll. Stand in line and away we go. A little bit of moonshine, a little bit of meat to the hillbilly rock and roll with me. Hillbilly rock, hillbilly roll. Stand in line and away we go. A little bit of moonshine, a little bit of meat to the hillbilly rock and roll with me. Everybody sing yee-haw! Yee-haw! Yeah, yeah, yeah! like someone south of the equator, navigator. Gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road. Taxi back around the clock with clean buttons, lager tones. I could get yesterday's. Time flies by, yeah.
What? The door's stuck?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want some help?
I see. Good, good.
Is full when you're weak. I'll be strong when you let go. I'll hold on, and when you need to cry, I swear that I'll be there and dry your eyes. When you feel lost and scared to death, like you can't take one more step, just take my hand. Together we can do it. I'm gonna love you through it.
That's what it's all about. You put your left arm in, you put your left arm out, you put your left arm in and shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn around. That's what it's all about. Whoa, pokey. Whoa, pokey. Whoa, pokey. That's what it's all about. You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out, you put your right foot in and shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey and you turn around. That's what it's all about. You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in and shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn around. That's what it's all about. Whoa, pokey. Whoa, pokey. Whoa, pokey. That's what it's all about. You put your head in, you put your head out, you put your head and shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn around. That's what it's all about. You put your whole self in, you put your whole self out, you put your whole self in and shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn around. That's what it's all about. Whoa, pokey. Whoa, the hokey pokey. Whoa, hokey pokey. That's what it's all about. Whoa, hokey pokey. Whoa, hokey pokey. Whoa, hokey pokey. That's what it's all about.
Thanks. I'd like the memory of me to be a happy one. I'd like to leave an afterglow of smiles when my life is done. I'd like to leave an echo, whispering softly down the ways of happy times and laughing times and bright and sunny days. I'd like the tears of those who grieve to dry before the sun, of happy memories that I leave when life is done. 17 years ago, Jeanette's life changed dramatically following a breast cancer diagnosis, and in turn so did her personality. After her mastectomy, she became quite self-conscious for a time, and the chemo and radiation treatment took a toll, both physically and emotionally. After entering remission, she decided for her and for her alone that she would see a reconstructive surgeon in Launceston, and this was a great help in helping regain some of that confidence. Unfortunately, as is so often the story where cancer is involved, it returned. And after a hard-fought and courageous battle, Jeanette left our world on Saturday the 17th of January at the Northwest Regional Hospital, surrounded by her loved ones. Jeanette did not hold to any particular religion, but she was deeply spiritual and strongly believed in life after death. She had even said that prior to her initial diagnosis, her father appeared to her in a dream, begging her to see a doctor, and this is what prompted her to do so. The time we spend here in this chapel is all about being human and expressing the unsettling mix of emotions and responses. Tears are human, smiles are human, hugs and warmth are human. Laughter, agreement and things shared in common, all a part of who we are. And at the heart of our meditation and our words, the humanness of Jeanette. We gather to celebrate what made her tick, her individuality, her character, her habits and quirks. Out of the gifts, abilities and ambiguities within her, she reached out her hand and her heart and contributed. And she has left something in you. What you take of that and do with it is up to you. But in this brief time together, it reminds us of how good it is to be in relationship, to have love and friendship, and to see so much evidence of that in how Jeanette lived her life. To you, Jeanette's family, I would like to pay tribute to the courage, the love and the care that you showed her, especially as her health declined. You still gave your best to her. You still wanted the best for her. And that is the measure of a true and deep love. And now that she's gone, you will still feel an enormous sense of loss, along with the relief that her suffering has ended. You will never lose the memories that you have of her. You will always be grateful for all her life has meant to you. And you will always tell your children and your children's children of their heritage in this courageous woman and the stories of her unique character. You have lost a huge part of your lives in losing Jeanette, but just as she would have been proud of all you've achieved so far, she would want you to go on to live, to love and laugh, and rejoice in the gift of life. Those we love are never truly gone. They live in treasured memories. They live in the hearts of those whose lives they have touched and shared along the way. Your sadness today comes out of that caring and out of love. We know that Jeanette's spirit and her living made a difference and will continue to do so, as long as each of you remember her in your hearts and carry the lessons of her life with you. You are now the representatives and the ambassadors of her legacy. She gave you wonderful gifts of kindness, graciousness, strength, acceptance, and love. She showed you how to live with a strong and positive heart and how to be thankful for everything that you have. In a moment, Jeanette's family will come forward and place petals on her coffin. As they do this, I invite you to allow yourself a moment of quiet reflection, remember time shared, and contemplate the character that was Jeanette.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, that I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, and there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way.
The day the angels called me home, to the place that was now to be my home, it saddened me to leave you all. My time had come to leave this earth and to say my last farewell. As I closed my eyes one last time, I saw my loved ones calling me to join them. They took my hand and showed me the way on my last journey to my new forever home for eternity. Heaven is now my home. These words were from Jeanette herself and speak so beautifully to the way that she approached what she knew would be the end of her time here amongst us. You could describe what we're doing today as putting away Jeanette's body. We deeply respect her body because it's what her parents gave her, and it carried around her spirit, her character, herself, her being for 66 years. But now the thing that drove her eyes, and the thing that gave us her smile, the thing that made her body travel and dance and sing the hokey pokey, the thing that knew you and let us know her, the thing that enlivened her body, as Jeanette believed, has gone on ahead of us. But that thing will never be completely lost to us, because we'll all have a little bit of it stuck inside of us. We'll always think a little bit like Jeanette. We'll act a bit like Jeanette. We'll laugh at the same things, and we'll probably cry a bit from time to time because of Jeanette. She'll visit us in our dreams, and we'll think we overheard her voice in our crowd, and tears may form, but so will a smile. We'll smile, the smile of someone who's had the honour and privilege of having known Jeanette Perry. And now she remains, locked up inside us, warm in our hearts and safe in our love. Let her rest there. Let her ride with you. Take her away with you today and remember what moved you about her. Be stronger for her. Be better. Be kinder. Your wife, your mum, your nan, your ma, your sister, your aunt, your friend, your Jeanette. Go in peace now, Jeanette, supported and nurtured by all those who love you, received and welcomed by all those who wait for you. Be strong, be free, and be proud of who you have been. Know that you will be mourned and you'll be missed, and that no one can replace you, that you have loved and that you are loved. And so it's with all this love and gratitude that we now commit all these fond memories to be locked away in our hearts as we gently yield your body to its end with nature. We celebrate you, we honour you, but most of all, we pay tribute to that consistent love and support that you always shared so willingly with your family and with your friends. Just as there is a sunrise, there must also be a sunset. Jeanette Marlene Perry, tenderly and reverently, we give your body to nature's elements and ultimately to the precious earth, from which all things come and to which, in the end, all life returns. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, at the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, you will be with us. In the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of summer, in the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, you will be with us. As long as we can dream, as long as we can think, as long as we have memories, we will love you. As long as there is time, and as long as there is love, and as long as we have the breath to speak your name, we will love you. We started our service this morning with a message from Jeanette, and she's seen to it that it will finish in exactly the same way. A celebration done her way, and just as she was in life, with her getting the final word. Ladies and gentlemen, can I invite you to please stand as we prepare to escort Jeanette from the chapel. Thank you.
Excuse me, please. Yes, it's me. I always get the last word, so why stop now? Well, hi everyone. It's time to say farewell. Thanks for the memories. We will all meet again one day on the other side. For now, it's my time to bid you all farewell till we meet again. Love, Jeanette. Bye for now.
I believe my steps are growing wearier each day. Still I got another journey on my mind. Lures of this old world have ceased to make me want to stay, and my one regret is leaving you behind.
But if it proves to be His will that I am first to cross, and somehow I've a feeling it will be, when it comes your time to travel, likewise don't feel lost, for I will be the first one that you'll see.
And I'll be waiting on the far side banks of Jordan. I'll be sitting drawing pictures in the sand. And when I see you coming, I will rise up with a shout and come running through the shallow water, reaching for your hand. Through this life we labor hard to earn our meager fare. It's brought us trembling hands and failing eyes.
So I'll just rest here on this shore and turn my eyes away until you come, then we'll see paradise.
And I'll be waiting on the far side banks of Jordan. I'll be sitting drawing pictures in the sand. And when I see you coming, I will rise up with a shout and come running through the shallow water, reaching for your hand. I'll be waiting on the far side banks of Jordan. I'll be sitting drawing pictures in the sand. And when I see you coming,